So this screen show is going to be talking about water and weight loss and why it's so important that we keep hydrated to lose weight. So water is actually one of the 5 essential nutrients that the body needs. The others are proteins, fats, carbohydrates, fibre, vitamins and minerals. So it's underestimated that this is such an essential thing of the body. The water makes up between 50 and 75% of the total body weight. Now you can live for days or weeks without food, but without water, you'll not be able to really last more than one day. So it is essential that we get that in. So the next slide, we're going to be looking at what it actually does to the body. So first and foremost, very, very important, it metabolizes all these nutrients that I just talked about. So how does it do that? It assists the efficient metabolism of everything. So that means the body works much more efficiently. It helps to carry the nutrients into the blood and the kidneys to function normally, and then also removing the waste products. It also lubricates the joints, which is again very essential for moving around, and also the organs, and it can regulate the body temperature. So it assists in that, and can also provide a suitable environment for the body's chemical reactions all to work correctly. So as you can see, it's very essential that we have this water in our bodies. We're going to talk about how much you need in a later slide. So dehydration, it's very common. A lot of people I see coming through my classes tend to be at some level of dehydration. It usually tending to be because there's so many other different drinks around that you can have. And it's interesting that most people understand that that those actually count as your hydration, but again we'll talk about that later. So first of all, it's really important to know that you actually can't store water. It's not like a sink with the plug in. It's more like a sink without the plug. So it goes in one end, and after a while it comes out the other. And if you don't keep topping it up, all the water you consume is either used by the cells or it just drains away. So try and optimize the amount of water you can store by ensuring you've got enough in the system at any one time. So some of the physical symptoms that you may be seeing in yourself or anyone that you're around is that you're feeling thirsty. Now that's the first stage of dehydration, if you actually feel thirsty. So hopefully you've not got to that point, and just keep topping it up throughout the day. You can get headaches. The blood vessels within the brain become constricted because they need the hydration, and that obviously causes headaches. You can feel tired, lethargic and lightheaded. Sometimes you can see it in the skin. I've noticed if I've been dehydrated, the skin on my face looks a bit more wrinkled and dry and tired and not as illuminating. One of the little tests you can do is actually pinch the back of your hand, and if the skin stays upright for any length of time, you can see that you're actually dehydrated. The body will sap all the fluid from any cell it can if you're not keeping it topped up, and it can actually become quite detoxifying within the body. So dehydration, here is a urine chart, so that a lot of people use this to guide whether you can test urine and have a look, so that shows if you're dehydrated or not. So on the top 4, that would be yes, you are hydrated. So very light in colour. Some people describe it as light straw colour. If you match the 4 bottom ones, then you are at a higher stage of dehydration, depending on what colour it actually is. Often in the morning you can find that it is a little darker because you've had a whole evening or night of you're not keeping that body topped up. So it's very important to drink that water straight away in the morning. So how much? Let's try and estimate the amount that you need. So you've probably heard a lot of messages about water requirements: 2 litres a day, 8 glasses a day, only drink when you're thirsty. The truth of the water requirements vary considerably from person to person, and there's insufficient scientific evidence to set an exact figure. However, it is possible to make a rough estimate of your actual requirements. So every body has a different requirement based on the energy requirements, which obviously in turn are determined by your age, your weight and your activity level. So there's other things to take into consideration like temperature and humidity. They have also an influence on that. In general though, if you go by these guidelines, you need 1 milliliter of water for every calorie that you burn. So, so the energy consumption and expenditure, that's what it's all about. You can estimate the amount you need by the calories by looking at your BMR, which is, here's an example of what on this slide. So this person is a certain age, weight and height. If you put this in the internet, you can come up with your BMR. And these are the calories that this client needs to just live. So breathing, sleeping, just doing everyday activities, no high exertion. And so if you then transfer that into the water requirement, that means this person needs 1,425 millilitres per day, so about 1.4 litres a day. So it's quite a nice little guideline that is. So if the bigger you are, the more water you need. So that actually makes sense, doesn't it? So the bigger mass of the body, you do actually need more fluid than you think you do. It's quite an important point, that is. So let's have a look now at what types of fluid you should be consuming, what types you shouldn't be consuming. So let's have a look on the yes side first. There's 4 things that you really should be going for. I've got tap water in there, just bottled water, filtered in a filtration like a Brita filter there, which is a carbon filter, which is the best way. Or we've got also fruit tea. So fruit tea is really flavoured and it's low in sugar, which is an important factor here, because a lot of people do consume high sugary drinks. So let's look on that no side there. Let's look at the high sugary ones first. We've got the Robinson's cordial, or any cordial in fact. Even though those say low in sugar, the sugars they put in place are high chemicals. We don't want those in our system. That'll make us even more toxic. We've also got orange juice. Lots of people do drink cartoned orange juice and they'll drink it all throughout the day and they wonder why they can't lose weight. And it could, well, it's high in sugar and quite a lot of processing going on in that as well. So that isn't acceptable to be counted as one of your fluid intake. So it's a hot chocolate there. There's tea and coffee. Tea and coffee are actually dehydrating, so they can make you more dehydrated. So if you are going to drink tea and coffee, I suggest that you have a glass of water before or after to combat the effect that that cup of tea or coffee has had on your dehydration. Now the bottled waters there, they're actually fizzy ones. Flat bottled water is acceptable as long as it isn't flavoured, but the fizzy ones and the flavoured ones, the processing effect, the carbonating effect can again be dehydrating or toxifying to the body, so we don't suggest that at all. And of course there's some alcoholic drinks, that isn't at all anywhere near anything hydrating. Again, it's dehydrating and can you know, there's lots of toxins in there as well. That's a completely new talk again. So now let's just summarise to finish off this slideshow. Why does it help us to lose weight specifically? So the first bit we said was about the digestion. So it helps you digest and take in all the required nutrients that you need. And whilst it's doing this, it's obviously then making your body work properly. And when your body's working properly, it's then going to help the body to detoxify. Now, the liver is the place that can detoxify, and the kidneys as well. They detoxify the body all the time. That liver is doing the job of getting all the toxins away from any foods that you eat or sugars or anything like that. It does lots of work. Now, if the liver isn't hydrated properly, then it won't be able to do the job of metabolizing the fat that you put in your body. So your fat will be laid down because the liver's too busy trying to get rid of all the toxins, and also, you know, it's trying its job to keep hydrated. It wants to be hydrated, so it really needs to be healthy and hydrated to be able to metabolize the fat. And that's why you lose weight when you drink more fluid. So I hope you've enjoyed this talk. Thanks for listening.